What has Trisha Paytas said about Colleen Ballinger? What is the Grimace shake trend that's been going around TikTok? And who did Logan Paul just get engaged to? I'm gonna answer all the questions in this video, so just stick with me. So Trisha Paytas has now released a 21-minute video responding to the allegations about Colleen Ballinger. The two of them had been working on a new podcast this year, and they've also known each other for years. In her video, Trisha addressed the allegations that Colleen would send her nude photos to underage fans, unsolicited. Fans have also claimed that she would make fun of Trisha behind her back, and in the video, Trisha confirmed this to be true. She also said that it wasn't just one occasion, that there were multiple times that she sent different photos of her. She said, "These weren't a long time ago. This is someone well into their 30s who just gave birth sending nudes. A month prior, I was in her house meeting her newborn and doing a mukbang with her." She went on to say that the entire situation is embarrassing, and that hearing all this horrible stuff about her body is a lot. Trisha acknowledges that while she is on OnlyFans and that's a job that she chose, it never feels good to have someone just make fun of her naked body. She said, "It's just a vulnerable thing. It's a little embarrassing if I'm being honest, but I'm more embarrassed that this is the kind of person that she is. Sending these to fans unsolicited, the context of which she is sending these, I don't get the purpose. I don't know if there was an inside joke that I'm missing." Trisha also said that she confronted Colleen and asked about the allegations, but she only got denial. Colleen basically denied that she ever did anything. She assured Trisha that she had never sent photos of her to anyone and that everything was being taken out of context. Trisha said, "I don't stand behind Colleen whatsoever. Her video was not an apology, and it took away from the severity of her actions of talking to minors, bringing them back on stage at her show. These people are speaking up and they're uncomfortable for a reason. Acknowledge it, change it, do better." She clarified that they weren't close friends, but they were friendly and they got along with each other when they would see each other. Although apparently she wasn't aware of the most recent allegations that have come out. And the response to Trisha's latest video has been overwhelmingly positive, with many fans leaving supportive comments thanking her for coming out with her story. One person wrote, "Regardless of her past, there's no justifying what Colleen did to her. How evil can you be? Absolutely disgusted. I'm so sorry this happened, Trisha." Another person wrote, "I'm not a Trisha follower, but I felt sick when I heard Colleen was making body-shaming jokes at her expense. That's an extremely vile thing to do to someone that cares about you. As someone who's been backstabbed a lot, I feel for Trisha. Hope you can recover from this soon." In the week since the allegations first came out, fans were on the edge of their seats waiting for Trisha's response to the news. At first it seemed like she was going to defend her friend and collaborator. She posted a religious quote which seemed to have been about forgiveness. On her Instagram story she wrote, "Always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God." From the outside, it looks as though she was continually supporting Colleen even though she was going through one of the biggest controversies of her career. In fact, there's been another bombshell report that surfaced about her on the set of her Netflix series Haters Back Off. April Keogh was an assistant writer working on the show, and she's now opened up about her experience working with Colleen in a blog called "You Owe Me an Apology." She wrote, "Upon meeting Colleen, my first impression of her was that she was boisterous, opinionated, and had a stunning lack of humility that was unlike anything I had ever seen. Immediately upon entering the writer's room, I was treated to story after story about her sold-out shows, how obsessed her fans were with her, and the lengths they would go to get her attention. Apparently, she had a knack for making biting comments about the people around her, and since all these writers had her to thank for their jobs, they were all forced to just go with it. Quote, she saw no issue with commenting on my hair, or my clothes, or asking about my personal life. Her lack of boundaries was remarkable." April claims that Colleen often pitched stories in which Miranda and Uncle Jim would be caught in compromising positions or moments of intimacy. She said, "It all felt deeply wrong. She would show us photos of the packed rows of smiling children who had attended the show the night before, and in the same breath spend hours trying to think of ways to show Miranda and Uncle Jim all but having an intimate scene on screen." Coming to the accusations of inappropriate behavior, April says that she stands with everyone who has spoken out against her in the past few weeks. She finished off the post by saying, "In the face of attacks from online gaslighters and bizarre, callous ukulele soundtrack response videos, they deserve to be supported, heard, and believed." And now, have you seen the Grimace shake trend on TikTok? So on June 12th, McDonald's released the berry-flavored Grimace shake as part of their extensive marketing campaign to celebrate the character's birthday. At first, people turned the promotion into a celebration of Grimace as a queer icon, dressing in purple cosplay and creating fan art of him and the Hamburglar attending Pride. But only 2 weeks later, there were no more photos honoring Mother Grimace. Instead, there were videos showing the purple shake to be a deadly concoction that kills or incapacitates the person who drinks it. And so the Grimace shake trend was born. A typical video starts with someone excitedly declaring that they're going to try the shake and wishing Grimace a happy birthday. But as soon as they take a sip, the camera cuts to the horrifying ending, with the person pretending to be passed out, dead, or dying, usually in a really strange location, like inside a trash can or draped over the hood of a car. Some people take it even further than that. They'll be lying on the floor with the purple shake dripping out of their mouth like vomit or spilled on the ground like blood. There's literally no rules when it comes to creating these kind of videos, and it just goes to show you how far people will go to commit to the bit. It's even gotten to the point where fans have started creating elaborate narratives like horror films and fake documentaries all about evil Grimace. People are literally making full-fledged minute-long horror movies with their iPhones. They're photoshopping purple blood and the milkshake itself onto screenshots of games, shows, and comics. Artists are drawing characters drinking the shake and then dying. It's pretty much everywhere by now. McDonald's has even acknowledged the trend by posting a creepy photo of Grimace on Twitter, although the trend doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense since he's mostly considered to be a happy character. All that changes though when you go digging into his dark history. Apparently the original evil Grimace was scaly, mean-looking, had 4 arms, and would of course scare kids. He was obsessed with the idea of stealing milkshakes from them. Business Insider labeled evil Grimace as a total failure when it comes to the marketing. His original shtick was a dim-witted monster who was hellbent on stealing milkshakes, making him similar to the Hamburglar, who was determined to steal hamburgers. Both of them had a similar setup, but for whatever reason, evil Grimace didn't go over nearly as well as the Hamburglar. In the end, the company decided that they had to make some major changes to correct their mistake. From that point on, they created Grimace as a soft, plush, 2-armed blob who only wanted milkshakes and to hang out with Ronald. But in recent years, even the clown mascot has seemingly disappeared. In fact, his absence from marketing was so glaring that McDonald's chief competitor Burger King even dunked on it with their own advertising campaign. This is pretty crazy considering that Ronald was one of the world's most recognizable corporate mascots. But there's quite a few reasons that he just disappeared. First and foremost, he's a clown, and opinions on clowns haven't exactly improved over the years. As carnivals and circuses fell in popularity, clowns became more of a horror staple than anything else. Especially considering popular villains like the Joker or Pennywise, children were more likely to be frightened of him than anything else. Add that to the infamous creepy clown sightings in 2016, and Ronald was dead by association. As they escalated from harmless sightings to reports of carrying weapons, it became an awful time to be a clown. In the end, the public scare convinced McDonald's that it was time to put the character away for a while. His role in advertising was meant to appeal to children, and that became increasingly problematic over time. By the early 2010s, the link between fast food and high rates of obesity was widely publicized, and there was just no way to deny Ronald's role in targeted ads. He was clearly aimed at children, and he was a face of marketing cheap food that we all know contributes to health problems. Because of pressure from groups like Corporate Accountability International, McDonald's slowly phased Ronald out of the spotlight, and that's why we just don't see him anymore. And now, did you know that Logan Paul is engaged? He proposed to his girlfriend Nina Agdal while the two of them were overseas, and of course she said yes. Logan popped the big question while they were vacationing at Italy's Lake Como. He reportedly hired a photographer who was dressed as a waiter in order to try to keep his plan a secret. Witnesses said she was blindsided by the proposal and visibly surprised. They've only been dating for just over a year since last May, and they went Instagram official 2 months later. Ever since then, they've seemed to be happier than ever, just enjoying each other's company while making the time for their own careers. Nina said she first met Logan at a New York City event and invited him up for drinks with some of her friends. She said that they just clicked instantly, and apparently the chemistry was off the charts. They first sparked romance rumors when fans spotted them enjoying an intimate dinner date together in New York last summer. They were photographed dining at the Peak restaurant in Manhattan, and Logan confirmed that they were an item in December. Then in May, he posted a series of pictures on Instagram to mark their anniversary. He wrote, "One special year with my Danish queen," and in response, Nina wrote, "Best year of my life." The Danish model famously dated Leonardo DiCaprio in 2016. When they were together, they always seemed to be on the go and frequently captured headlines with their glamorous, globe-trotting romance. They went to places like like Ibiza, St. Bart's, and the Bahamas, even though they never really spoke publicly about their relationship, which seems to be a very typical thing for Leo, as he doesn't really tend to gush about his romances. But chaos ensued when they were both involved in a car accident in late August of 2016. Luckily, an ambulance was called to the scene and the crash was minor, but only after a year together they decided to split up in 2017. A source told People magazine that it was Leo who broke things off, and he said that he's not ready to settle down yet and just isn't in the mindset to get married or to have kids. As for Logan, he's never been someone to keep his personal life out of the public eye. Throughout his time in the spotlight, he has been romantically linked to models and other internet stars. He previously dated Josie Canseco, the daughter of former baseball star Jose Canseco. He and Josie first sparked romance rumors in January of 2020, and they experienced some ups and downs throughout the course of their relationship. After a brief separation in February of 2020, the pair got back together in May that year and celebrated their 6-month anniversary in October. Things seemed all good between them until Logan announced in November that they had split up. But even without his very public relationships, he's actually managed to stay in the spotlight for his business ventures. With over 23 million YouTube subscribers and arguably the biggest podcast in the world, Logan's star is undoubtedly on the rise, which is why some people were confused when he joined the WWE. He's surprisingly shaken up the world of wrestling and boxing, and has even fought with one of the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather. One of his most memorable fights though was with British YouTuber KSI in 2018. Initially, KSI challenged Jake Paul, Logan's younger brother, but Jake backed down, allowing Logan to step in and fight him. The match was streamed on YouTube's pay-per-view platform and was promoted as the biggest internet event in history. It garnered 1.3 million pay-per-view buys thanks to a ridiculous amount of promotion. Before the event, the two of them did a series of press conferences where things got incredibly heated. All of this managed to bring about plenty of controversy and in turn make a lot of money. So clearly they've both found something that they really enjoy, considering that both KSI and Logan Paul are still going at it. So what do you guys think about this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.